Hello, beautiful people of the world. Today I am going to be talking about Taurus Sun, and I hope you don't mind walking with me. I feel that this imagery will really complement what I'm talking about today. So, Taurus, of course, being an earth sign, when you have this in the position of the sun, which is your concept of personality and ego identity, you become an incredibly grounded person. You're someone that has a very stable personality, whereas a lot of people who have mutable suns or non-earth suns might have a personality that really fluctuates and goes through a lot of trial and tribulation and requires a lot of work in terms of self-discovery and consistency. You're someone that knows who you are. You've always known who you are, what you're about, and you're pretty simple, practical, and grounded. You know that you are human and you're on Earth, and you're very comfortable with that. And it's really at the core of your ego identity is you really identify a lot with the physical world, with your own physical body, and being a human and being an animal and being alive. You don't really have to think about it in these strange, complex mental and emotional ways like a lot of other sun signs do. So because of this, the aura that you project is, of course, very earthly and very grounded. So you provide this very comforting presence for a lot of people. Taurus Sun, because they're so connected with the earth and with their body, you're someone that is able to provide and support a lot of people. You love cooking for others. You love making sure someone has a comfortable place to sit, that there's lovely music being played, that love's being shared, that drinks are being poured, that people are warm and happy. That really brings you so much joy, and that's part of your self-expression, is to make other people feel at home here and comfortable within their body and within their environment. In a lot of ways, it can be kind of similar to Cancer, but instead of doing things in an emotional way, you do things in a very physical way. You give someone a couch to sleep on, you buy someone dinner when maybe they're struggling a little bit, you donate to charity, what have you. Taurus Suns are people that are very generous with their resources and typically are good at obtaining them for themselves in the first place. If you have a Taurus Sun, you're probably usually always clothed appropriately and have something to eat and a nice place to sleep, because these are really priorities for your ego to go and seek out. To others, like I said, you are very grounded and very stable. You're a very reliable kind of person. If a Taurus Sun says that they're going to do something for you, they'll definitely do it. If a Taurus Sun says that they're going to show up at 8 p.m., they will be there at 8 p.m. And when they promise you somewhere to stay, they definitely mean it. So people can definitely count on you to be very grounded and practical and help them out with things and be there for them, of course. Though because you are so stable and you kind of do things a bit slowly, everyone's personality, of course, evolves and grows and develops over time. And so yours does too, but you definitely go a bit slower than other people. It is a fixed sign, so you're not one to quickly change your mind or be really impulsive or rational or completely change your self-concept. It will take you years and years and years of maybe studying or eventually switching a job or getting in a relationship that you slowly see how you've developed comparatively to your past. So Something the Taurus Suns can be at times is, and please don't take offense to this, is a little bit dry. Um, Only because they are not this like super high energy, buzzing around kind of person. They're not really there for your entertainment, like a Gemini or a Leo would be, and they're not really that involved in other people's lives. They're not the kind of energy to project into someone else. Like maybe a cardinal sign, like a Cancer or a Libra, would kind of get involved with you. They're someone that usually keeps to themselves, and they're very content within themselves. So Taurus Suns are not incredibly extroverted people, though of course they can be. They tend to focus more, like I said, on their own personal resources and environment. If they have something good to eat and it smells nice and they're sitting somewhere that's really soft and nice, they're probably going to be pretty contented with themselves. They don't need a lot of stimulation or difference or adrenaline or things like that. They prefer to be very calm and peaceful, and level-headed, and just kind of do things at a pretty steady pace, not rush anything. So they tend to jive more with people that are into that kind of a thing. If you really like fast-paced, exciting kind of people, Taurus Suns aren't that. They are even-keeled and level-headed. Typically, their personality is just very kind and loving and open and down to earth. They have so much wisdom and knowledge when it comes to like food and health and even carpentry and like interior design, just very homey type of things. They are really likely to have a green thumb and be able to and to relate really well to both animals and plants. They seem to have a very good knowledge of just kind of like climate and geography and geology and things like this. They definitely are adept at these kinds of things. Um, and their body's very important to them. So a Taurus Sun is someone that is actually very sensual. They experience their identity very much through the senses, so they probably have certain smells that they really like to adorn themselves or their environment with, like lighting incense or colognes and perfumes. The smell of food. They're someone that definitely makes sure that they have enough to eat, and they probably have certain foods that they identify with themselves, maybe like childhood dishes or things that just make them feel really good. And they definitely love music and definitely identify with the kind of music that they like, and they can be very sensual in terms of touch. Taurus Suns tend to be pretty physically beautiful and attractive people for the most part, because Taurus is ruled by Venus. So your identity is going to be very much based on your senses and your appearance and how you're feeling in your body. So it's very personal to you, all of these senses and textures and appearances and things like this. And Taurus Suns are the kind of people that, if you know, they trust you and they're comfortable with you and they feel good in their body around you, then they are very open to physical touch and like cuddling, and they can be very sensual and sexual, and they really love to incorporate all kinds of senses when interacting with another person. But they can also be pretty stubborn about their physical body and what they do with it. They don't like to be forced to do anything with their body. They don't want to be forced to eat certain things or go to certain environments that they don't want to go. They are comfortable where they're at, and they will let you know. They're not going to be pushed into situations they're uncomfortable with. They're not going to be forced to change their personality in ways that they do not want to. So they can be very stubborn and strong-headed, but it's simply so that they can protect their self-concept and make sure that they prioritize the fact that they feel comfortable and safe in their body and their environment at all times. And if you really push this boundary, Taurus can get very angry. So they're very peaceful people. If you just let them be, they pretty much function really well. Like plants in nature, you don't need to do too much. They are very self-efficient. So I hope this was a good overview of Taurus, and if you learned something, please give me a thumbs up.